I want to, well, let's go from one difficult topic to another. If you're on the phones, be patient. 24 years ago today, our world changed. Yesterday, I suspect, is a turning point in the country. 24 years ago today was a turning point. I began my radio program yesterday. I began it yesterday saying events change things. I ended it telling you Charlie Kirkage has been shot. I began it saying events change things. People went to work in the World Trade Center on September 10th, 2001. And they left. And they came back the next day. And they expected to go through the motions yet again. Over 2,000 of them. Never went home. You know, I'm kind of tired of talking about dead people lately. From the school shooting to Charlie Kirk to 9/11. But events change things. 9/11 profoundly impacted the psyche of the American Republic. 9/11 was a significant turning point in American history because we had until that moment been as a nation invulnerable, protected by two vast oceans and large land masses to the north and south of us, in a continent away from all the troubles. The Western Hemisphere, far more peaceful than the Eastern Hemisphere. And on that day, evil came to our shore. I have a friend who was headed to an interview at the Windows of the World restaurant. She came out of her hotel, stepped on one of those grates that's over the subways. Her high heel got caught in it and snapped. She had to go back inside and change her shoes. She left, caught a cab, was arriving at the building at 8:46 a.m. as that plane flew into the first tower. She saw it. She knew it wasn't a small plane. She knew it was bad. And she left. I have a friend who was on his way out the door and realized his son had left his lunchbox on the counter, and so he had to go by school to take it to his kid. And then he got on the subway, and the subway came to a halt several stops before the World Trade Center, and everyone was told to get out. He got out, and he saw. My boss's daughter, today's the election in New York. My boss's daughter, when I was a lawyer, was one of the heads of the Board of Elections for the city of New York. She was in the World Trade Center. She was manning the polls, getting polls set up nearby, took shelter in a neighboring building, and waited out the day until she could be rescued, unable to tell anyone she was alive. Events change things. The Civil War, one of the most profound events in American history. There are people in the South who still argue it was actually an economic argument. It was about slavery. And originally it was. But it morphed. It became bigger than the argument that they wished to, and it became a just cause. It became a righteous cause. This country had been founded on the idea that all men were created equal, and yet the founders allowed some to be kept in chains. It became a moral cause, and the right side won. The good side won. And what did the bad side do? They integrated back into society. My son asked me yesterday what I thought of Robert E. Lee. Allegedly a relation, although I'm somewhat dismissive of it because everyone in the South claims that they are related. I think Robert E. Lee was a good man on the wrong side of a war. And when the war was over, decided to commit himself to the project that is the United States. And a man who could have used his fame and clout to continue to divide and tear the country apart decided to do what he could to use his fame to put the country back together, recognizing he had played a role in breaking it apart. And I don't think we should vilify people like that. World War II and Pearl Harbor, that threw America for a loop. And we had to go save the free world. And in return, the free world entrusted the Western order to us. And as time has gone on and people have died and memories have faded, we have forgotten the trust the whole world put in us to preserve the world order. And many people now wish to break apart that world order. 9/11 was the moment we realized that the world order was beginning to upend itself. And we had to make a commitment to stand good versus evil, the United States versus monsters who wish to kill us. My son came home from school the other day and said he was horrified to learn the majority, he said, of his class, and I don't know that it is a majority, but a lot of kids in his class really have concluded over time that 9/11 was an inside job. It's disgusting that that view has festered, because what that view says is that America is evil, and there are those who wish us to believe this country is evil. And when you decide to believe that it was an inside job, you are essentially deciding that the United States government decided to exterminate thousands of its own citizens for some cause. Yesterday was a turning point in this country. Yesterday, a 31-year-old father and husband was assassinated for his views. This nation, 24 years ago today, was attacked because of who we are. Yesterday, Charlie Kirk was attacked for who he was. What are we as Americans? We are people from all walks of life who have joined hands to perpetuate a common experiment. Now, there are those on the right now who have embraced this blood and soil idea that we're actually a nation of people and place, and we are a nation of people and place, but we're also more than that. The United States is bigger than just a landmass filled with people. We were forged in a fight over an idea. Most nations do not have a mission statement. Most nations exist over time, over a series of battles, where they develop a common culture and language and borders, oftentimes directed by rivers or mountain ranges or the end of landmass into ocean, or their islands. And they're people of a common tongue and a common tribe, and we are not and never have been. But all of us got together at the beginning, and we agreed, our founders did for us, on a mission statement for this country. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. That's why I have to correct conservatives who say illegal aliens, when they come to this country, they have no rights. No, our rights come from our Creator. That's our founding statement as a country. That is our mission. That is our purpose. That is our belief as a country, that we are endowed, all of us, by our Creator with certain unalienable rights, including the illegal aliens who come here. These aren't constitutional rights. The Constitution, the Bill of Rights, just preserves the rights that God gave us. That's our understanding as a nation. You as a conservative, you as a liberal, if you recognize that the Declaration of Independence was our mission statement as a country, you have to recognize that our rights come from our Creator. So you can't actually say that illegal aliens have no rights, because all men are created equal and are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. It doesn't say all American citizens. It doesn't say citizens. It doesn't say residents. It says all men are created equal. That's what sets us apart. That's what makes us unique. That's what makes us special. And oftentimes people within this country begin to twist that and pollute that and decide that's actually bad. We need to move beyond it. It's outdated. It's outmoded. It's not true. But it's what makes us unique. It's our superpower. It's why people are willing to walk here across land masses, through desert and jungle, through war-infested zones, through gangland territory, to come here to be one of us. We've broken down the assimilation over time. That's actually our problem. It's not illegal immigration, although illegal immigration is a problem. Our problem is there are people who, on the left in particular, have decided that assimilation and becoming America, what does it mean? It's whatever you want it to mean. No, what it means is that you believe all men are created equal and are endowed with their Creator, by their Creator, with certain unalienable rights. And yesterday, someone fired a bullet because they hated that one of our rights is speech. 24 years ago today, a group of monsters got on airplanes and killed thousands of Americans because they hated what it means to be America, the land of the free and the home of the brave. 90 years ago yesterday, the governor of Louisiana was assassinated, and his son, Russell Long, the future senator of Louisiana, said it is with ballots and not bullets that we will decide the destiny of this country. It is what we do. It's what we must do. 24 years ago, thousands of Americans were killed. Planes were crashed into buildings and a field. The heroes of the day, the first responders, were to some degree outmatched by the heroes of Flight 93, who, summoning the strength of the best of us, decided that they should die, that more should live, and committed themselves with Todd Beamer's words, "Let's roll." And we should roll on, recognizing what we have here is so special. An nation founded on an idea that to this day inspires others both to hate us and to want to be us. Let's roll.